Hi, my name is Trevor Weitzel, and I'm the Director of Search for Marijuana Marketing Xperts. Today I'm going to be talking you through planning and organizing your link building campaign. In my opinion, links are still a mystery for a lot of business owners. SEO concepts like on-page and writing content are relatively simple for most business owners to wrap their head around, but links are just a different story, so hopefully I can shed some light on the subject for you. Here's a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. First, let's discuss why you actually need links. Links continue to be a top 3 ranking factor within Google's algorithm. Google's entire existence is based off the fact that they decided to use links as a signal of relevance and authority. It worked out really well for them. Obtaining relevant, quality links will enhance your website or standalone web page's ability to rank, and when done right, can even be a good source of referral traffic. Next, let's talk about Google's Penguin update. It's important to understand Penguin because it pertains to the links portion of Google's algorithm. Penguin was first introduced in 2012 and was put into place to protect against web spam. There's one thing you should know about SEOs, it's that we ruin everything. We tend to latch onto a specific SEO concept and abuse it until Google takes it away. And that's exactly what Penguin did. Force SEOs to shift from a quantity-based link building approach to a quality-based approach. Also, with the most recent update to the Penguin portion of the algorithm, Google supposedly analyzes those links in real time, but I do think the jury's still out on that one. So, now that we know we need quality links, what actually makes a good link? Above and beyond all else, relevance is key. Most SEOs get hung up on stats like domain authority or page authority, even trust flow and citation flow. And sure, these metrics are important, but they can also be gamed and artificially inflated. What can't be gamed is relevance. Is that website or the post or even the paragraph surrounding the link relevant to where it's actually linking to? That is the key component there, relevance. All right. Now let's get into the good stuff. Time to talk about some link analysis. Now, when it comes to link analysis, there are really 2 major players out there that are simply ahead of the rest, and those are Ahrefs and Majestic. I personally am a big fan of Ahrefs. I not only love their tool for link analysis, but also keyword research, content ideation, website audits, etc. I just think they're head and shoulders above everyone else. So if you're going to invest in a tool, I do recommend going with Ahrefs. So now that you know what tool you're using, the first question you're probably asking yourself is, how many links do you actually need? And it's important to note that there really is no one-size-fits-all answer. Here at MMX, we recommend doing your analysis at the page level by assigning a primary keyword to that page. Do a Google search for that keyword, and then do an analysis on the top 3 to 5 competitors ranking for that keyword. Always be sure to skip directories. Directories tend to rank based on the depth and breadth of their site, and less so on the volume or quality of links. You want to focus in on actual competitors ranking for that query. What you're going to want to do is plug each one of those URLs that is ranking for that keyword into your link analysis tool, and you're going to want to make note of the number of referring domains. Be sure to use the exact URL setting instead of prefix or domains. It'll give you a more accurate count. Once you have those number of referring domains documented for each of the 3 to 5 competitors, you simply want to take an average of those numbers, and that'll give you an idea of how many different referring domains or how many domains you need to get links from. The reason we use referring domains instead of total backlinks is simply because the volume of backlinks can be skewed by things like directories. Say you're listed on Yellow Pages in 100 different categories, that's 100 individual backlinks, but only 1 referring domain. So the referring domain gives us a better indicator of how many links we need to obtain. Now, the other cool thing about these link analysis tools, they actually give you direct insight into exactly where your competitors are getting their links and even what anchor text they're using, which can help you to plan your strategy. So now that you know a little bit about analysis, let's talk about organizing your efforts. This is pretty simple. just use spreadsheets. If you're an Excel person, go and use Microsoft Excel. I recommend online tools like Google Sheets or even Zoho Docs. Here's what your basic setup should look like. You want to track all of your live links, so make sure to have a tab that has a running list of not only all current active links, but everything that you obtain throughout the course of your campaign. You also want a tab for each page you're building links for. I also have a tab for social profiles as well as citations, because those are very important links for brand prominence and local relevance. And last but not least, I also have a tab for potential link opportunities that I'm going to go after throughout the course of my campaign. Do pay attention to the pro tip there. If you have a big site, don't fret. Don't try to tackle it all at once. Break it into smaller pieces and make concentrated efforts, and then just work your way through your site over the long term. Selecting anchor text is incredibly important. We here at MMX have a policy where we try not to use the same anchor text twice, if at all possible. This helps to promote anchor text diversity and protects us from over-optimization. Now, there are many different types of anchor text you can use as well, and these are some of the most common. I think the one most people are familiar with is either target or exact match anchor text. Those are simply anchors that have your exact keyword linking back to the page on your website. Next on the list is branded. These are simply variations of your brand name that link back to your website. URLs, also known as naked URLs, is just a simple link with no keyword-specific anchor text behind it. A lot of times in link analysis tools, you'll come across NA as an anchor text type. This almost always pertains to images. And last on the list here, you have topical. Topical-based anchors are basically a level above exact match. So instead of linking something like Blue Dream, you might go with sativa dominant hybrid. So it's not an exact match anchor text. It's just, you know, one level up or one level off. Now, obviously, it's also very important to record each and every placement throughout the course of your campaign. Here at MMX, we track the article title if it's a guest post. We also track the specific anchor text that we're using. We track the placement URL, or where that link is coming from. We also track the target URL, or where that link is pointing to, as well as the link type and the publish date. To me, the publish date is incredibly important. This helps to correlate drops or increases in rankings and can help us to analyze whether or not that link placement was beneficial to our business or not. So now that you know how to analyze, strategize, and properly track your link building, let's talk about where you actually get links. Links come in all different shapes and forms. I think the most common link type that people are familiar with are probably citations or directories. Citations and directories are incredibly important from a brand prominence perspective, and if you're a brick and mortar business, they can also add a ton of local relevance. Social profiles are also vital to any business's backlink profile. You know, you want to be on all the major ones like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. But the more of these you can be on, the better. You don't necessarily have to use them, but you know, using their domain authority with a link back to your website can definitely help your overall link building efforts and your overall website authority. Blogs and publications are also on the list. Those are also known as guest posts. That's where you write content for another publication within your niche or within your city in order to obtain a link back to your website. Web 2.0s are another common place to get links. A lot of SEOs will tell you that Web 2.0s are an outdated link building concept, and that's simply because they were abused for a very long time. I am 100% on the side of practicing moderation. If you're going to use Web 2.0s for your link building efforts, I highly recommend using branded links or naked URLs to keep yourself from any over-optimization issues. Image sharing sites are another route you can go. Websites like Pinterest are great for obtaining links. You can also get links through press releases. Google has recently come out and said that they basically devalue all links from press release websites. I do still think these can be very important from an overall backlink diversity perspective. So while they don't hold a ton of value, I do like that you get some, even though there are no follow links in many situations, you do get some diversity there from some pretty major publications. You can always go after links from partners or potential distributors that you work with within your industry or niche. And then last on the list there is forums or comments. A lot of SEOs have the same sentiment about these types of links as they do Web 2.0s. Again, it's because these concepts were abused for a long time back in the day. If you practice moderation here, primarily stick to naked URLs, forum and comment links can still be very effective. Just circling back on this, if you're struggling for places to obtain links, you could always look at your competitors' backlink profiles. Ahrefs and Majestic are going to tell you exactly where your competitors are getting their links from, as well as what anchor text they're using, and you can go after those links yourself if they're viable to you and your business. Finding cannabis directories is super simple. Just Google it, throw in cannabis directories or marijuana directories. You'll notice that in the #1 slot is a resource from Marijuana Marketing Experts and MMX. I did include a link at the bottom of the slide there if you want to directly visit it. But there's a ton of different directories, cannabis specific or marijuana specific directories that you can get your business listed on. That'll be highly relevant for you. The last tactic here is definitely an advanced tactic. It's using Google's search operators functionality. You can type in quotes, this guest post was written by, or become a contributor to, or even become a guest blogger, and then just add cannabis or marijuana to the end of that query outside of the quotes, and you should get a list of relevant websites that do allow for guest posts. You can also use that in URL operator as well. Type in URL : guest posts, and then add cannabis or marijuana to the end of that query as well. And that'll look for URL strings that contain that guest post keyword. And again, these are sites that you can add to your list and try and do outreach to those webmasters in an effort to gain more links. So, some key takeaways here. Above and beyond all else, be sure to practice moderation. Don't overdo any one particular tactic. You don't want to get yourself into trouble and get penalized by Google. It can be very expensive and very time consuming to get out of a penalty, so definitely practice moderation. Don't forget, Google is always going to tell you what's working. Throw that keyword that you're trying to rank for into Google and do the competitive analysis yourself. That'll help you identify the potential number of links, the types of anchor text you need, the different link types. So use that information that Google essentially gives you. Always be sure to focus on relevance. Don't get hung up on things like domain authority and trust flow and citation flow and what have you. Yes, those things are great, but relevance is key. Always be sure to track everything from your anchor text to the link type to the placement URLs, target URLs. You want to have all that stuff documented. Again, this helps with preventing any potential over-optimization. Always be sure to vary that anchor text, and then, as I mentioned, just be sure to diversify the link types, and you should be in good shape. Appreciate you all taking the time to listen to me today. I hope you got some solid takeaways from this presentation. If you do have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thanks very much.